Just about anyone who can hold a controller can play Journey. The platforming is trivial for vets of the medium, and the exploration rewards you by making that platforming even easier. The appeal to Journey is not in its challenge, it's in its pleasantness. And for a game that looks and feels this good, it certainly succeeds at that much. So congratulations, that game company. You just made Flower again. What's that? A multiplayer element? Oh my god! That's super interesting. Anyone with a recent PlayStation console, an internet connection, a Hamilton, and a Lincoln can play this game. And don't forget that point. When another player seamlessly joins your game, it's just their avatar. There's no voice chat, there's no network ID that you can message, you cannot talk, and you have no way of determining where they come from. You don't know their gender, their ethnicity, their class, their age, and they don't know yours either. All you have is these symbols that you can use to recognize each other. You can tap the circle button to chirp, and you can hold it longer for a more sustained note, but you can't really communicate beyond that. All you can do is play the game. And if Journey were anything other than a pleasant experience, I think that this would be intensely frustrating. The good news is, there are no puzzles that require your partner. If you want, you can book it straight for the ending, and that's what makes the choice to stay, wait, and help actually mean something. Likewise for when you're the one being helped. At the start of the game, the traveler can fly a little bit by pressing X. How far it can fly is dependent on how much swag you have in your scarf. Swag is represented by this white light that climbs up the scarf and runs out when it reaches the traveler's back. You can make your scarf longer by exploring the area and finding these celestial symbols lying around. Flying feels great, so you want your scarf as long as possible and you want it filled with swag. This is where your buddy comes in. Being close to each other fills up both scarves, and so does singing. Sticking with your partner empowers the both of you to travel with more speed and grace. So that's what the mechanics do for you, but what about the story? The story isn't these visions or these paintings. It's your journey, and I don't think that there's another game that has lived up to that promise until now. Get out of here, Zelda, your time will come. That's because Journey stories are not crafted by the designers. The history of this world is dark, overrun with war machines led by travelers in white robes. Their once thriving civilization is now in ruin, and their graves litter the world around you. This wasteland is the setting. These levels flow from open, safe, and warm, to narrow, threatening, and cold. This is what the developers give you, but the story you discover in the relationship between yourself and the players that you interact with. These stories belong to you, and the magic is that you can't recreate them. They're gone. Unless you have a capture card. Which I didn't until recently, which means that I missed the journey where 3 of my inexperienced gamer friends took turns while they were guided by a traveler in lustrous white robes. They were shown the location of each scarf upgrade, and despite failing every single platforming challenge, this person waited for them. And in the very last level, they lost their companion. They waited something like 5 minutes by the gate that would end the game until their partner finally came back, and together they rode the light bridge, and I swear this is true, on landing they wrote us a heart in the snow. And that's what this game is about. I was blown away. We all were. So much so that when the end credits gave us their network ID, we reached out. And now we're best friends. I'm just kidding. They didn't speak English, they spoke Spanish. And I was wrong. This is what the game is about. At the beginning I said that you need a Lincoln and a Hamilton, but that's not true. You may need 12 pounds or 1700 yen. I only know one YouTube and one internet, but there's a whole other world out there if you speak other languages. All of the servers that I play games on are in English, the websites that I visit are English, and while I interact with people from all over the world through those means, it's always on those terms. Journey lets you share a lengthy experience with someone and you don't even know what you don't know about them. I think about this player and how we probably weren't the first people that they helped find all the collectibles. They boot up the game from time to time, don those white robes just to show people playing where all the cool stuff is hidden. And that's the kind of person that they are. So while I did get exactly this many words out of them after the game was over, everything I think I knew about them came from those wordless interactions. And so now I have to confess, my journey back when I first bought the game in 2012, it ended early. I traveled with my online companion to exactly here, but then circumstances meant that I had to get up and leave. I didn't want to leave them waiting for me, so I turned off my PS3 and never picked up the game again. I've shown this game to countless people. I've seen the ending many times, but I never beat it until I had to record the footage for this video. Every time I watched a friend play this game, I saw their personality and how they treated their online companion. The utilitarian that left his would-be travel partners in the dust. The inexperienced but self-motivated reacted with complete indifference to their online companion and accepted no help as they played. The well-versed gamer that took their time and smelled the roses with their buddy, sticking close and always waiting up. And I saw the same in these online partners. The people that came and left the noobs in the dust. The partners that would wait no matter what. The players that would wander. The players that stick by their counterpart. So when I finally sat down 5 years later with the intention of seeing this game through to completion, I wasn't sure who I'd meet, if anyone. But I did. a lone traveler with no yellow markings on their lower robe, indicating that they'd never beaten the game. I was likely their first partner, and let me tell you, they were a wanderer. But who's to say if I'd find anyone else? So I let them lead me across the desert. We began following these cloth creatures that led us to their brothers trapped in machines buried in the sand. And this was something I'd never seen before. Frankly, allowing them to drive the experience was so relaxing, up until the point where I had to step in. I tried to lure them away from the light, but they're caught in the Sentinel's gaze, and I can't help them. By the time I'm on the top of the tower, they were gone. And the next vision Chronicles was waiting for me. Despite traveling this far with my online companion, my fate is to freeze alone in the snow, exactly where I left my first partner behind. Fine. I go forward. Without the warmth of my friend, my scarf drains, but it's been 5 years and I'll see this thing through to the end. My traveler struggles to walk. With each strong wind, my long scarf is blown off, and then... This is my journey. When I had a buddy, I was looking out for them. But now I'm indifferent to even my own cause. My journey was to lose my buddy before the end, and with them the drive I had to continue. And this was the hard part. Finishing without a friend. And my only fate is to join the graves that passed along the way. But the game doesn't give up on me. In this final act, I become the soul of the traveler, transcending into the mountain to be dissolved into the light and join the stars. And in an instant, that moment of disempowerment washes away, replaced with the retrospection of what brought me to this place. If you're lucky enough to spend time with any one player, you find yourself caring about them, appreciating them, waiting for them, all through the buttons on 2 controllers that can be anywhere in the world. You care enough to wait, maybe enough to quit, or enough to guide, and that's the cycle. The lore implies that your traveler's spirit joins the stars at the end, and those falling stars become the new travelers going on this journey, where they pass through the remains of the lives of the old ones who destroyed themselves. And I think that was my journey, to start as a traveler that quit and went home, heard the stories of countless travelers who made it, and to finally take the pilgrimage myself with someone who had no idea what I had known, or what I had seen, and ultimately to press on when they leave me, and to hope that the traveler I was with 5 years ago finished without me. For all the people that I have played this game with, both online and on my couch, this was a journey born out of all of those. And so I can only think of one way to end it. Thanks for watching.